and welcome to The Real Deal with Kim Hollingshead. I'm your host, Kim. You guys, we're listening to SuperTalk 99.7 WTN right here in Nashville, Tennessee. The Real Deal is a radio show that is all about mortgages, real estate, title insurance, the law, and just life in general. We talk about everything here on the program. On today's episode, we have a really special guest. I cannot wait to introduce you to Nick Woodard. Nick is a real estate agent with Benchmark Realty, and he has been selling homes here for over 20 years. He's a native of Williamson County, Tennessee, went to high school in Williamson County, knows every single back road and every area. And if there's anybody who, is looking for real estate in not only the Nashville areas, but also Williamson County specifically, you could not find a better real estate agent in that area than Nick. I've known him for so long. Nick and I have been through thick and thin. We've always been there for one another. And I will always count him as one of my greatest friends. He's just been there for me. I can't even tell the listeners through just absolutely devastating moments of life. And he has never shied away from it. He's always just been there and hung in there and listened and just been such a good friend. So I'm so grateful to him. And I'm so excited to have him on the program today. So if you're, just tuning in, that's awesome. If you want to catch us on this episode or any future episodes, you want to get caught up on any episodes, find me on Spotify, YouTube, on NashvilleRealEstateRadioShow.com. Give my office a call. It's 615-549-1933. If you're buying or selling or refinancing, if you're looking at investing in real estate, give us a call. I'm not a licensed real estate agent. I am a licensed agent, but I do not sell real estate. And I'm not a loan officer, but I'm glad to connect you with the professionals who are the best in those fields. And I'll just stay in my lane, which is real estate law and title insurance. So, Nick, welcome to the show.
Hey, Kim, thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
I feel like I finally have thawed out since the ice came through.
It was brutal.
Did your power go out?
No, which is crazy because, you've known me a long time. I'm a little bit of a prepper. So I'm prepared for things to go far south, and they really didn't. So, I had all the propane and all the little buddy heaters and food.
No way.
We didn't get to use any of it. So
really? Do you have the food that lasts for 25 years?
I do.
You do? I bet you have buckets of it. Oh, how did I know? Do you have the water purifier?
I do.
No. Do you have the solar panels?
No, don't have that yet.
Really?
I don't have that yet.
He said yet. That's like
I got generators and stuff. Stuff to get us through a short-term crisis.
Okay. Well, so I'm very opposite. I was quite unprepared for this. I knew we were going to be.
The guy at Uber Eats will get here. It's fine.
I was
2 inches high. It's fine. They'll get here. Yeah.
Well, first of all, it's bad when all of your friends are like, hey, Kim, honey, just so you know, we're going to have some bad weather coming up. I think you need to check it out, because they all know I have no idea what's happening in the world. They're literally so sweet. They're like, we're going to have a tornado, so you need to hunker down, honey. So they're like my eyes and my ears in the world. They told me that the storm was coming. I go online. My version of checking the weather is to go in the weather app on the phone. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, it looks pretty bad. I don't know. And then I go on YouTube and I watch some weather kid on YouTube,
Oh, got to give a shout out to Nashville. Was it Nashville Severe WX?
Oh, really?
YouTube, Instagram. They are the best.
Oh my gosh. Hot tip.
They are awesome. I tell every client that moves here from out of town, give these guys a follow, because during rough weather, they're on top of it.
What is it called again?
Nashville Severe WX, I believe is what it's called.
Really? Okay, Nashville Severe WX on YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay, love it. I'm subscribing, especially after this. So I did the thing. I was so proud of myself. I was like, look at this. I'm going to buy food. I got milk and butter and cat food for my babes. And I was like, we're just going to stay holed up in the house. It's going to be fine. And then I learned how to turn the fireplace on, because there was something inside of me that was like, danger, danger. You need to learn how to turn that thing on.
Pretty important.
Yeah. So I learned how to turn it on. And then lo and behold, my power went out. My power was out for 3 days. Was it 3 days or 4 days or something? And, have you seen those things that are like hoodies, but they're like a hoodie blanket?
I got one for I got Catherine for Christmas.
I wore that thing. I had like 3 layers on. I was wearing this blanket thing around the house. And of course, no power. So all my food went bad. It was pretty rough. But here's the thing. Real estate does not stop. I had ended up having to get, because my driveway is like super steep, as you know, and it had like 4 inches of ice on it. And it was like a skate rink. Nobody was getting up or down that driveway. And so I had to call my amazing team, and people brought me like solar powered phone chargers and like little generators to just barely power the computer for like an hour.
You'll be prepared next time, won't you?
I mean, I thought I was prepared, and now I realize that I really do need to step it up a notch because, that was
called crazy forever, and then all of a sudden,
I know
it actually happens, and I'm prepared.
Well, do you know that the ice in my driveway only melted like the day before yesterday too?
Yeah, and hung around for a long.
Oh my gosh, it was so cold. That was nuts. So I was stuck in my house for 12 days. And, oh my goodness. Yeah. I was.
It reminded me of the first week of COVID where you just started to get real, cabin fever. And,
yeah,
I'm not wired to, I love being by myself, hunt and fish and all that stuff. But
yeah,
for long periods of time, I can't.
Well,
I have to have social interaction.
Well, you have a bunch of kids though.
Yeah.
That's got to help.
And all their friends came over and stayed. And
yeah, I was going to say.
We had a good time. But again, we didn't experience power outage, which would have been a game changer.
Oh.
Had all those kids been stuck at the house. But
oh my gosh.
We're good. We're good.
It was so cold and so boring. I just slept for 3 days because it was so boring and it was so dark. So I was like, oh my God, I was so well rested when I came out of that. It was amazing. But it definitely brings up a lot of challenges, when the weather you just realize like why you need insurance, why like all the things that your real estate agent tells you to make sure you have the HVAC examined. And,
Well, I had a listing that I got a call from a client of mine saying that she had water coming in her bedroom. And I guess there had been an ice dam that dammed up. And when it started melting, it broke through and messed up some drywall and stuff. So yeah, so
she's having to get that repaired.
Yeah, so there's going to be things that continue to have to be repaired after that 1 week of ice. The effects are going to linger for a little while.
Right, and all the schools were closed for so long. And how many of the teachers ended up having to go back to school, like even though they didn't have power for like 8 days, and they're having to go back to school and teach the kids? Like in Davidson County, it was really rough. It was really hard. On those teachers and all the kids there, because people were still without power up until just like a day ago.
Uh-huh.
So, listen, I saw the craziest story on News Channel 2. I think I sent it to you actually about the HOA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when we come back from the break, I'm going to play this clip. It's just a short reel. It's like a minute long, and I want to play it for everybody. And then I want to get Nick's opinion about what happened because. You hear the stories about like, yes, get when the roads get really bad, people up north, they make fun of us, but they don't get ice like this. Ice is a totally different animal.
Right.
And it's so unbelievably dangerous. And I remember like having just during that time, especially during the 3 days when the power was out, having this like low grade stress of like my body understanding that we were in a life or death situation. Like it was so cold.
It could be. Yeah, very much could be. And that's why, I've always tried my best to be prepared for situations like that.
Yes.
When that happens, it's a lot of times it's about staying alive. It's not about, entertaining yourself.
Exactly. So, okay. So we do know that you're a prepper. If you could just give, listeners, Armageddon, we don't know what's going to happen. Are you prepping for the day that we have to, like, because of the government, or what is it? Is it end times?
All of it. No, when end times come, I'm going to be with Jesus.
You're planning on going up in the rapture. Me too.
I don't really care.
Me too. I'm planning on that too. That's my game plan.
No. I mean, it just, especially for cold, just make sure you have propane tanks. I have 7 or 8 propane tanks. Those little buddy heaters, I use them, when I go camping and stuff. Those are fantastic. You want to have enough heat in a room. It's not to heat your whole house. Put everybody in one room and turn that thing on.
Yeah.
It's just to keep you alive.
Yeah, and the food that lasts for the buckets.
Yeah.
You get them at Costco. I've seen them. So when we come back from the break, I'm going to play this clip. If anybody out there is interested, because Nick really is one of the most prepared people. If you just need to look at the back of his truck, he's got something in there for any situation. Okay. And if anybody out there you just want like a short list of Nick's top 10 tips of how to be prepared here in the South for weather, especially if you live out in the country, or, even if you're not in the country like me, I'm in a neighborhood. Give us a call. It's 615-549-1933. We will make sure to connect you with Nick, and he's going to send that information over to you. I mean, I take his advice, and I would highly recommend that you guys do too. Y'all, you're listening to The Real Deal on SuperTalk 99.7 WTN. We'll be right back. Welcome back to The Real Deal. I'm your host, Kim Hollingshead. We're here every Saturday from 9 to 10 p.m. I absolutely love spending my weekends with you guys, and I am so excited to have such a treat of having Nick Woodard on the radio show. Nick is a real estate agent with Benchmark Realty. He has 20 years of experience. He has sold millions and millions of dollars in real estate, and he has helped clients buy, absolutely anything. You want a farm, you want land, you want a big fancy house, you want a McMansion. Especially if you're in the music industry, he works with a lot of people in music. And I think the secret to your success is that you just really listen to your clients. You know what their needs are, and you know how to help them really zero in on what's going to work best for them, right? I mean, for sure. So I think one of the best pieces of advice I ever heard you say was you were talking about someone who was coming in from out of state, or I think they were coming in from out of state, and they said, I want to live in Leapers Fork, and they love the area's beautiful. And then didn't you steer them in another direction?
Well, I like to make people think outside the box and at all angles. It's okay, what's your day-to-day going to look like? So yes, it'd be great to have a farm out in Leapers Fork. Okay, great, we can find that. Absolutely, if that's what you want. But I need you to think about, okay, what are your kids into? Are they into sports? Are they into, mine play football, cheer, softball, flag football. Go to church, all the things. So I would love to live out in the middle of nowhere, but I'd be shuttling my kids everywhere.
Well, you're an Uber driver.
So it's just not where I am in life. So I get people to really think about, okay, where are you in life? What is your day-to-day transition look like? How long is your commute? Where do the kids go to school? Where do you go to church? Where do you hang out? All of those things need to be a big factor in deciding where you want to ultimately end up.
That's so true. And then also where you work, right? Because if you're driving over an hour to get to work every day, that's probably too far.
Well, I drive 3 hours in circles, so.
I was going to say, you're a real estate agent, that's different. But if you have to drive to the office, you know what I mean? I don't know. We're not so much in that work from home culture.
I try to get people to think beyond the transaction.
Yeah.
Because everybody's excited. Everybody's happy with a new house. What's your life going to look like 6 months later?
Well, yes. And also it's the fantasy, right? I have I would love to have a small little place with beautiful gardens and just 5 acres to myself and maybe a pet cow or something. But the reality of the situation is, girl, let's get real. You do not have the bandwidth to garden. Okay. You're not going to be out there but the idea of it sounds amazing.
Work from home and that's the lifestyle they want.
They can do it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's sometimes when I talk to clients they have a fantasy of this life that they want to live and they think the house is going to give them the life. And it's no, the house is your home base. You have to be realistic here.
Yeah, I don't want to throw cold water on anybody's dreams, of course. If that's what you've decided is best for your family, we will absolutely find it and pair you up with it. I just like to make sure people are thinking the next 3, 4, 5 steps down the road. What's your day-to-day going to look like? And
Yeah.
What's your life going to be 6 months from now when all the newness is worn off?
So true. So true. Because it's not fun if you want your life to be conducive. So, okay, well, let's go back to the story of the HOA and during this ice storm. And so I'm going to play this for you guys. This was on Channel 4 News. And with us being in real estate, we have a special interest in HOAs. So I'm going to play this for the listeners.
One, even if they don't have power, but it does include getting a generator. Well, we've had people reaching out to us saying that their HOA is not allowing generators even after this historic ice storm. WSMU's Brendan Tierney is pushing for answers tonight.
So that is wild to me that HOAs were literally sending people letters in the mail during the ice storm because they had set up a generator in their backyard, and generators are not allowed in the neighborhood. I mean, I'm like, this is a historic ice storm. And imagine you get a letter from the HOA.
Yeah. I wouldn't put up with it. You know, it's one of those, it was a potential life or death situation for many people. So, you know, fine me, send me the bill. We'll figure it out in court afterwards. Right. But there's no way I'm turning off that generator because you think it's an eyesore to my neighbors who are also cooped up in their houses trying to survive as well.
Right. I'm like,
no,
you're just jealous.
That would not fly.
Yeah. Don't be jealous of my generator. Okay. And then send me like hateful stuff. I will say this. So living in an HOA has its benefits and its downsides. So contrast that with this neighborhood. During the storm, every single one of the trees that line our street were broken. All the limbs were completely broken off, and they were all inside of the just ice hanging and blocking driveways and blocking the street. It was really rough. So with all the trees out, I just called the HOA management company, and I was like, hey, there's a bunch of trees that are broken. They were like, the guy was so nice. He was like, oh, really? Are they blocking? Is it blocking the street? And I was like, yeah, it's like blocking the street and it's blocking my driveway. I don't know what to do because I can't get out of my driveway to even go down there to look at it. He goes, no, don't worry about it. I'm going to send some chainsaw crews out there. We're going to get that cleaned up. And then he said, he was so nice. And he goes, it might take us a few weeks to get it totally cleaned up, though, if you'll be patient with us, but we'll come out tomorrow. And one of my neighbors texted me and she was like, is that tree on your side or is that tree on my side? I don't know which one of us has to take care of the tree. I said, I called the HOA. They're coming to take care of it. She was like, oh, really? And I was like, yeah, they're probably going to file a claim on their insurance, right, for the ice. And they're taking care of it.
The whole HOA thing. So I can argue both sides.
Yeah.
It's like you said, there's definitely benefits to it. And there's also restrictions to it. I mean, that's what it's there for. You know, I have clients all the time that specifically do not want an HOA. I'm like, that's great. That's fine. You're going to have to handle a lot of this stuff on your own.
Mm-hmm.
Which again, that's fine as well. But I have told people before, go take a drive around a neighborhood that does not have an HOA. It does not hold up to the same caliber as neighborhoods that do, for the most part.
It's so true.
So they're, you know, it can be hard dealing with them. You know, I've gotten fines for parking my trailer in my driveway before. I've got some land south of here and keep the Polaris at the house. So I'll bring the trailer over to put the Polaris on and go down to the farm. And, you know, the HOA will come rolling by and write me up something. I mean, it is what it is. I know I was breaking the rules, but
yeah.
I mean, the generator thing, no. When it comes to a life and death situation, all that stuff goes out the window.
Right. It is nice I think you're absolutely right. It keeps home values up.
It does. Absolutely.
So it is that hedge. It's that protection against you getting a crazy neighbor who doesn't ever want to cut their grass.
So I think about this a lot. I've had clients want to put up a fence and they get real upset that, okay, my neighborhood only allows, you know, black aluminum fencing. Why is that, Nick? I was like, let's think about this. If you had a wood fence and your neighbor had a wood fence and the other neighbor had a wood fence, what if you all stained them different colors?
Right.
And they all age at different times, or you know, one doesn't take care of repairs, so it makes the whole, you know, as a whole look terrible.
Exactly. I mean, and then it's always like, and then you're going to have the terrible story of the HOA who takes it too far, and they're like, I'm sorry, but the correct color is, it's eggshell and this is painted bisque. And so it's like a slight shade off. And so they're going to fine you for that. And it is annoying. It's like, imagine you do have to understand what the rules are for your neighborhood. You have to educate yourself on the rules and you have to look them up and you have to get the proper approvals. A lot of times it comes down to landscaping. I would say is like the number one beef. Yeah. Mowing the grass, what trees you're allowed to plant, where you're allowed to plant them, and then the colors of the decor. Like if you want to paint your house white, HOA may say no. It's not allowed.
I've got a client right now that had an issue in Brentwood, tried to paint his house white. They wouldn't allow it, which I thought that was overreach.
Really?
Again, it's one of those, you've got people on both sides of the fence. HOA good, HOA bad. It's,
yes,
kind of whatever your preference is for how you want to live.
Yeah, and then they also maintain the front of the neighborhood and they kind of keep the common areas a little bit more cleaned up. So there are some other benefits to it as well. But man, I'm like you. I'm like, if somebody came, I had to have a generator and I went through the trouble of getting it and somebody tried to tell me I was going to have to pay a fine to use my generator during an ice storm. Are you out?
That's not happening.
No way. What a jerk. By the way, the HOA did end up waiving the fine in that situation, but I know that there's a lot of other scary stories. Guys, if you ever have an issue with an HOA, you have questions about an HOA, give me a call at 615-549-1933. I'll help you. We'll just review the restrictive covenants and in the bylaws. We'll take a look at it together. And then if I feel like maybe there is actually a serious issue that needs to be addressed, then, I can refer you to somebody who can help you with that. You're listening to The Real Deal on SuperTalk 99.7 WTN. When we come back, I've got one more clip to play for Nick, and I cannot wait to get his reaction to this. Perfect. Okay, so are you ready for this clip? Welcome back to The Real Deal on SuperTalk 99.7 WTN. I'm your host, Kim Hollingshead, and today we have a really special guest with us. It is Nick Woodard. He's a real estate agent with Benchmark Realty. He has over 20 years of experience, has sold millions and millions of dollars in real estate to clients all across Middle Tennessee. But really, I would say his area of expertise is anything in Williamson County and pretty much any price point in Williamson County. He's a local boy, so he can definitely show you around. You guys, I was hanging out on Instagram. We get inundated because it's kind of like the algorithm knows like, oh, I think you might be interested in real estate. So it just shows me every real estate clip that there is out there. And, this one absolutely definitely caught my eye. I've talked about Dave Ramsey on the show.
Yeah.
Are you a fan?
Oh, yeah. I grew up listening to him.
I know, right?
Yep. Yeah. I'm friends with his daughter and
really?
Yeah, his son-in-law.
Oh, and his headquarters are in Williamson. It's his headquarters in Franklin, right?
Mm-hmm. We've had to stop by because it says Ramsey across the building. My daughter's name is Ramsey, so we've had to stop.
Did you know him?
Take pictures before.
No. Ramsey is the cutest child. Oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. All your kids have the best personalities too, so they're just awesome kids. Okay, so I'm gonna play this clip from Dave from Instagram, and who we both just think the world of, and I want to get your opinion on this advice. Okay, are you ready? Let's play it.
About probably a month ago. So I said, listen, there's a couple things we can do this housing market. The problem with the housing market is there's always been a shortage of inventory for the last 2 decades, really. And the shortage of inventory has caused the market to get stopped up. And there's a couple things we could do to loosen the inventory. And one is to prohibit the institutional separate hedge funds as Chinese buying blocks and blocks of thousands and thousands of single-family homes, yes, and making them off the market and making them permanent rentals. And today, President Trump says he will seek a ban on institutional investors from buying single-family homes. Is he listening to the podcast, Dave? I don't know. He didn't call me, Ken. I know
that. So, what do you think about that? About them? Look. If you go down to the Davidson County Courthouse and you just take a look at the evictions, you would be amazed at how the attorneys are handling. One attorney handles evictions for so many different properties, and you realize, oh, it's one owner and they own all these different properties and they've hired this one attorney to handle it all. And I think what makes Nashville so attractive, one of the reasons, I mean, obviously our rental market is very strong here. Rental rates are great. We tend to have a very good tenant base. And also because Tennessee is very landlord friendly on the rules, right? I mean, we don't have the stories like you see like in California where people are just squatters. Like that's not going to happen here. And who was I talking? I was talking to someone the other day. I said, "Oh no, honey, this is Tennessee. You just go like we don't have squatters. We're not putting up with it here. Very landlord friendly." But the other thing about Nashville is that they do not have homestead for property taxes, so everyone's paying the same rate. Now think about this. So like, let's say that you're in Florida, out of beach town, and this is how I'm gonna explain it just briefly for the listeners so that we can get an idea. Because everyone's going to understand this. You live in a beach town in Florida, and how many of the homes are vacation homes? They're rentals, corporate or individuals. They're second homes. But for the most part, in a beach town, like, a lot of people live in Destin, but there's so much investment property down there. But if you're a resident of the city, do you think you should have to pay the same property tax rate as somebody who's making money on that house that they're renting? So in places like Florida, you actually pay a much higher rate for property taxes than the person, if it's an investment property, than the person who lives there. It's called the homestead. And so in Tennessee, we don't do that. Or in Nashville, we don't do that. Everyone's paying the same rate.
Yeah.
So I know because I have clients who run these capital funds who have these millions of dollars in real estate, millions and millions that they are buying up single family rentals in Nashville. And they will literally look at the portfolio and they go, I mean, yeah, they're running the numbers, to run the cap rates, which everybody who listens to the show knows what that means. They're trying to determine what their rate of return is going to be. And they go, okay, yeah, but on the property taxes, yeah, but and I go, oh no, it's just the one rate. And they're like, oh wait, what? And they're shocked at that. I've always said that if we would have a different property tax rate, it would cut so much of the rental market out of Nashville.
Makes sense.
Right?
Now, the big corporate investors are the ones that I think are really starting to manipulate the market a little bit.
Yeah.
Like Dave said, coming in and gobbling up all this inventory, and it's even hard to compete. I've had clients make offers on properties, and they're competing with these buyers as well, getting into multiple offer situations and all that. And they're just, the big corporations just kind of strong-arming them into, hey, I need it to add to the file. So
right.
I think Dave's on to something there.
And President Trump.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're like, get
some things have to change. What that is, I don't know. And Dave also said something later on in that clip about changing the what he was
the capital gains.
Capital gains tax.
Yes, Dave said that what they should do is they should raise the capital gains exemption for married couples from $500,000 to $2 million, and he felt that if it did that, then it would loosen up with people who are like more baby boomer retirees.
Just think, people are sitting in their homes right now that they've been in forever. Like my parents live in a nice home in Brentwood that's probably a good amount over $1 million that my parents paid $160,000 for. So if Dad were to sell it now, he's going to get the $500,000 tax free, but then he's going to pay a huge tax on the actual real gains.
Yeah.
Which is, $1 million and a half.
Yeah. So
why would they move?
Right.
Unless they have to. So if you change that rate, or you change that number from $500,000 to $3 million, whatever, you're going to have all these baby boomers sell off these homes that they've had forever to take that cash. And then that's going to open up the market, more inventory. And then from that point, that'll probably start, on the higher end. And then that'll kind of trickle down into the mid and lower end. I think that's a great idea.
I think it's a great idea too. You know why? Because who's living in a $500,000 house right now? I don't know many people. I'm just being real about this.
Yeah, my first house I ever bought was $120,000.
Yeah, and mine was $125,000.
Yeah, can't find it now.
No, that same house is selling for $300,000. Yeah. And the truth is, I have not raised that limit, that cap, I've been doing this since 2005.
5 years or so.
Yeah, I've been doing this since 2005. It's been that same $500,000 since I started in real estate. And back then, for $500,000, the house you could buy was like a giant, like 5,000 square foot house in Brentwood. Okay,
it may have taken 20 years to get that much equity in it.
Yeah,
and here in Nashville, that's happened in the past 4 or 5 years. So that has to change.
Yeah, we do need to see that change for sure. You know, also, one other thing that I think is so interesting that President Trump said is he said, we do not want to lower housing prices. I want to keep housing prices right where they are. And I'm gonna get more buyers into the market, but we're not going to lower the housing prices to do it. What do you think about that?
Well, anybody that buys a home, of course, does not want to lose money on it.
Yeah.
We have found ourselves in a very unique situation where you have high rates and high pricing. So that's pushing a huge chunk of the market out to where they can't even afford it.
Yeah.
So I think rates are the top thing here to kind of grease the wheels. But I think that the change in tax on the equity would just open the floodgates almost immediately.
That is such a good idea. I mean, leave it to Dave because he's just brilliant. We love Dave Ramsey. He gives the best advice. Now, but some realtors don't like Dave, okay? Well, loan officers. What is it about is it because he tells people not to have debt?
Yeah, it's not have debt. It's not, yes, there are ways to use bank money to become very wealthy. However, a lot of people don't establish risk. There's always risk when you're borrowing money. I know this is going to shock anybody. I am 45 years old. I have never owned a credit card.
What? How did you buy a house?
We figured out a way to get my credit score up, but I've never had a credit card.
You've never had a credit card? Wow.
And it became, my father kind of raised me that way. Mom and dad raised me that way. And a lot of it was from Dave Ramsey. So again, it can be done. It's just, if you leverage yourself to a point where the risk can take you out, just like it did Dave. You know, he had a whole bunch of properties that he leveraged, and then they called the note, boom, it was done for.
Yeah, happened to a lot of people.
Beginning. So that's where a lot of people have conflicting ideas with the way he sees things. I can see things both ways. However, again, I've never really borrowed money before, and I've turned out okay. So I mean, it can be done.
Yeah.
I don't like risk. I can't fathom the severity of a huge catastrophic situation taking my life down.
Right. But if you needed to have credit, you can always just borrow on your home equity line of credit, or you can just go open a credit card if you need one. Yeah. I mean, it's there for you if you need it.
And my wife has a credit card, of course. So
I was going to say, I mean, please, let's just get real. She's raising how many kids? Y'all got like 15 kids. She's trying to...
3.
You have 3. You're raising like 15. That's the truth of the matter. Okay, listen. You guys, you're listening to The Real Deal. I'm your host, Kim Hollingshead. We'll be right back. When we wrap up the segment, I want to get your opinion on one more thing before we let the listeners go for the weekend.
1, 2, 3.
Welcome back to The Real Deal. I'm your host, Kim Hollingshead. Today, we have a super special show for you. Nick Woodard, who is a real estate agent in Benchmark Realty, and one of my greatest friends, is here. And Nick, I just think that you have the best advice for people. And I know you work with a ton of people who are coming in from out of town. It's like incredible how people find you on your social media. He has an amazing podcast. You guys go find him. He's on Spotify. He's on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Go find Nick Woodard, Benchmark Realty. And Nick, what is your phone number for anybody who wants to give you?
615-566-9839.
Yes, he has an amazing podcast. Definitely check out his podcast. He has famous people on there all the time. And he's very plugged into the community here. And I know that people find you from states like Michigan and California, and they're coming here because they're interested in this Tennessee lifestyle. I think they love the no capital or no state tax, right?
Of course.
Yeah,
that's huge.
That's a huge thing for people. And what are the other benefits of living in Tennessee?
Ooh, so I ask this question to every client I have that comes from out of state. And of course, there's different answers, different reactions. A lot of people say, just the freedom lifestyle, just being able to do what you want. I have a lot of people that are like myself are gun owners and want to be able to, to carry a firearm and protect themselves. And a lot of people come for, political reasons because they just don't agree with what's going on in their particular state. So they come here. Cost of living is one. There's so many things, but it seems to be the number one answer I'm getting right now, especially from people from California and New York, and it's kind of government overreach.
Really? Okay, so this is interesting because I see, and I'm sure you hear and see this too, that people have been in Tennessee for a long time. And my mom is Korean, but my dad he's like a Southwestern cowboy. We lived in Alabama ever since I moved from Korea when I was 8. And so I've been...
You are a unique breed.
I am. I'm like a redneck Asian girl. Oh my God. My dad's like the biggest...
The first time I heard you speak, I was like, that's not the sound that should be coming out of that face.
Oh my gosh. It's so true. I can't agree it. So...
when you said we should go have supper one day, I was like, yeah.
The supper thing always kills everybody. I literally, if I said dinner, my dad would be so confused. He would be like, he wouldn't know, because that's like lunch for him. Anyways, it's very country. And anyway, but people here from the South and from Nashville and Tennessee in particular, and I hear this a lot in like Williamson County, but especially like Murray County, like, you know what I mean? Bedford County. Okay, where they say all these people are coming in from out of state and they're bringing their politics with them, and we don't want them here. We want to keep, Tennessee. Now, I know you represent a lot of people from out of state, and they are coming here, and it sounds like they share our politics, and that's why they're coming.
Well, people that pursue me are going to more or less have the same outlook that I do, just because I'm kind of open about it. I will say this, most of the people that I have worked with that are coming here, they're coming here for a purpose. They're putting their money where their mouth is. They don't agree with something that is, lifestyle, how they want to raise their kids, whatever it be, and they're actually doing something about it. So no, I don't see the outside coming in and changing the culture of Tennessee, at least not from my point of view and the people that I've worked with.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I'm like, you're welcome here. I mean, we want you here. We would love to make the state bigger. Give us more electoral votes, please, so that we can have more of an impact. Do you know what I mean? Give us more congressional seats. Because it's interesting. I work in Nashville, but I live, South Davidson County, like borderline Williamson County. But I'm more conservative leaning on my politics, obviously. Sure. I mean, I think just because I'm a Christian and because my father is military, I was just raised, this way. And so, but when in Nashville, I do see a lot of people coming in. I think they're coming here because the music industry, the lifestyle, the city, the, entertainment, downtown, all the excitement of Nashville's like the next big place. But I do see more of a shift in politics in Nashville. Like Nashville is becoming more and more liberal as it goes on.
Well, all big cities are. I mean, if you look at, the majority of all big cities are going to lean, more blue. Mm-hmm. Then outside of the big city is going to lean more red. That kind of goes across the board.
So true.
I read something somewhere that said the more vertical you go, the more blue it is. So in the city, you have apartment complexes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The thing to me is, the politics situation is it's just gone. It's gone too far. The majority of people that I'm around, even if they don't see politics the way I do and think the way I think, we all want the same thing. Mm-hmm. It's just we all have different ideas of how to attain those same things.
Yes.
And I'm very outspoken about my beliefs and the way I feel about things. However, I love sitting down and talking to people that have a different point of view, and we can have a respectful conversation and go, okay, you've got some points.
Yeah.
I've got some points. We ultimately want to have the same outcome. It's just how do we get to that?
Yes. But at the end of the day, we all want safe schools, safe neighborhoods. We want, all the same, like you said, we want a lifestyle. We want beautiful neighborhoods. We want clean streets. And this is what local government is really all about. I do know that in Williamson County, we are starting to see more and more neighborhoods that have more walkability and more kind of like this integrated lifestyle where it's like a neighborhood, but with a school, maybe pizza shops. And, West Haven is a beautiful example. And so even though people are coming to Williamson County from out of states, they're still able to maintain that kind of city lifestyle living out in the county that way.
So funny story is, I growing up here, say I graduated high school in 1999. So I had friends that, had land out in Leapers Fort, and went driving past there one day, probably in early 2000s, and I saw them starting to build West Haven. And I thought to myself, I was like, there's no way this will survive out here. This is way too far out. Nobody is going to move here. And God knows how many houses there are in West Haven.
They keep building them. Now they got a 55 plus.
Keep throwing them up.
Yeah, they got like a new 55 plus.
Wrong on that one.
And
on that one.
I'm shocked at what West Haven has been able to become as well. And it's such a great place because it's awesome. And it's close to downtown Franklin too, which is like one of the best little, small downtowns in the entire country. So as we wrap up the show, what is the one thing that you want the listeners to know about you? And your passion for real estate, why you're in this, and what keeps you going every day?
Well, I'll be honest. This is what I chose to do until I figured out what I wanted to do. And 20 years into it, I've kind of figured out maybe I'll just stick it out. So I'm very blessed to be well connected. I've got a lot of contacts, a lot of friends. I try to do people right. And, it's just, I sell a lot of high-end homes. I sell a lot of, regular homes, but I treat everybody the same. I've worked with well-known country music artists all the way down to first-time home buyers. And you just got to treat everybody the same.
Yes.
Do your job, do it well, and ultimately focus on serving people and not making money, and everything else will work itself out.
I can honestly say I've known you for so long. You are exactly this person in every setting. This is the version of Nick you're going to get when you work with him. There's no pretense. You're so authentic and real. And that's why we love you, honestly.
That's too hard to fake it, so you might as well just roll with reality.
So true, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us on this really special episode. I hope you guys have a really blessed rest of your week. Thank you so much for being a part of my listening audience. I appreciate all of you, and have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Good night, you guys.